everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we have Ellen from Fezziwigs Marketplace on, and for those of you that have been following along the last couple weeks, you already know I'm very excited about this conversation. Ellen and I actually have a lot in common from our backgrounds, so I'm going to try to not let this conversation get carried away, but forgive me if it happens. And I wanted to also give you a heads up that next week we have Happy Pack on. They are a really fun retailer out of Indianapolis that have a great concept behind them and have just been running with new ideas and all of that. So we're really excited to talk with them next week. So make sure that you keep on joining us each and every Tuesday. We're here with constantly new guests. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Ellen. Here we go. Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I have been following you along since I really took over our social media closer to the beginning of the year, and was immediately gravitated towards, everything that you're doing and your personality, and actually have always heard great things about your store from way before. But yeah, I finally have gotten the chance to meet with you virtually, and I'm just so excited for this conversation. Can you start off with telling us some of your background and how you came about opening your store?
Sure, absolutely. So let's see. I actually have my degree in opera, is what I did for a living for quite some time, for a bit, I should say. And then I was in the bridal business for 10 years with my family's business, and that was in Ohio. When I turned 30, I said, I'm not growing anymore. I need to spread my wings. So I gave my parents a year's notice and found my replacement. My sister, one of my sisters, works there still. And so she was there, and I basically moved then to Atlanta, and from Cleveland, Ohio to Atlanta.
Whoa.
With 4 cats. And I know I'm a cat person. And I was a district manager for a tuxedo company called Jim's Formal Wear. It was called Formal America. And I ran 7 stores there. And there, my husband and I, now my husband, we met and said, you guys are pretty cool. We like each other, da da da. But he was in a different little spot. So we decided that yes, we'd get married. And I was then at Williams-Sonoma. Once we kind of decided we were serious, I said we shouldn't work at the same company anymore. So I went with Williams-Sonoma. It took me 17 interviews, by the way, to get that job. 17.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. I was not giving up. And then once I got there, they're like, oh yeah, we get it.
Wow, that's probably the longest interview process that I've heard of, but kudos to you for not giving up.
Thank you. But I mean, it was just a lot of interviews, and they're particular, which is great. So I was with Williams-Sonoma for quite some time, and then transferred to the St. Louis area, and there wasn't a position for a general manager with Williams-Sonoma, but there was with Pottery Barn. So they asked me if I would change divisions, and I said, of course. So then I was with Pottery Barn, and had a really great time there, and my mentors were amazing, absolutely just wonderful. I couldn't do what I'm doing now today without that background. There's no way. Or it would have been much, much more difficult. So I'm very thankful for that skill set. And which led us then to, at some point, we said we want to own our own store. And so, believe it or not, it's going to be exactly 14 years ago. 14 years on Monday, we start our 14th holiday season. So,
yay! Congratulations! Yeah. That is such a success, and I love that you guys. I love that you opened at the beginning of a holiday season, because I feel like that is. That's an undertaking to do. But how cool that you also get to celebrate your anniversary every year going into that holiday season. That's got to be fun.
It's my birthday as well. So it was like, happy birthday, dear. Here's a store. Work your butt off. Go for it.
Oh, man. Well,
that's okay.
Well, hopefully you love the holidays and can wrap it all in together and just, blow it up.
Yeah. Well, we knew we had to be open by the holidays. I mean, that's when you make your money, for the in our business anyway.
Yeah.
We do about 50% of our business, or a little more than that, in October, November, December. So it's actually the most crucial time to be open for a business like mine.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the concept for your store? You sell a lot of teas and, a lot of kitchen goods as well as decor. And I love your mission statement, by the way, which, hold on, I wrote it down. It's to create exceptional and memorable experiences. I love that word, experiences. So your store really has all of those elements to create an experience for people, or that people can use to create their own experiences as well, from the decor and all of these. But I know a big part of your business is the tea. So can you tell me a little bit? I assume that you're a big tea drinker. How did you come about the concept?
Sure. You know what? Let me back up for a second and just go to this. One of the things that Williams-Sonoma and Pottery Barn does really well, and they still do, is they have a concept, and everything that they do fits into that concept. So when my husband Tim and I were figuring out what do we want Fezziwigs to be, and if we have time, I have to tell you that story because it's a great story. But what do we want it to be? Well, it kind of boiled down to, I'm an entertainer. I'm an entertainer in music. I'm an entertainer at home with cooking and having this gorgeous table. And it's frankly the way that I show love. And so it was completely innate to us to say, okay, we're going to have an entertaining store. So that's our umbrella, and it still is. That's one of our, I'm going to say one of our success points is, sure, we've tried different things within that umbrella, but if it didn't really fit on that umbrella, it never really works. So find your umbrella and stay under it, basically.
Yeah, that's a great.
So we said, okay, we want this to be about entertaining. So we want to be able to have gourmet foods and wine and tea and things to decorate your home with, and to create these beautiful tables that people are excited to eat at, and to share conversations and experiences. So with all of that, I have been a big tea drinker for forever, and my mother is definitely who got me into tea. And this is a little kind of a crazy fun fact, Camille, but get this. So my name is Ellen Leaf Moore, and I'm a certified tea educator and specialist. Get it? Leaf? I think I'm kind of meant to be in this business, but I kept my maiden name because of singing opera. Right? Yeah. So that's why I kept it. But my father's name was Arthur Theodore Leaf, so his initials were A.T. Leaf. So I think really I was supposed to be in it.
That's really cool. I didn't put those all together, but as soon as you said it, I was like, I see it. That's really cool though.
So with how we decided to get into tea, there's a lot of information out there, but I said, if we're going to do this, I want to be an expert in the area. So, there were a lot of tea places out there, including Tivana, that type of thing. They're of course no longer in business. But I said, I want to be, an educator. That's going to be our thing. It's not going to be pushing tea and just all about sales. It's going to be something more. So, there are a few organizations out there now that do these type of things, but the one that I went to is called the Specialty Tea Institute. And it's basically, it's housed in New York, but you have to take the classes all over the country. It took me about 2.5 to 3 years to actually get to what my level is. And I'm a level 4 certified educator for tea. So I teach a lot about tea.
You essentially became like a wine sommelier for tea.
kind of, yeah.
I mean, and that was kind of what I imagined, because I was thinking to myself, wow, I mean, you must really know, the intricacies, because you curate a lot of your tea compositions and whatnot, is my understanding correct?
We do some. It's actually very time consuming, and so I work with a couple or 3 different places that do a lot of blending for me. And then if we can't find exactly what we want, then I'll do it. But it's more or less, I send them, okay, I love this. This is what I want. So for instance, our number one selling tea is called Spiced Christmas. And I sent it back to the blender 7 different times. It's like, no, it needs to be like a red hot. That's what I want. And it's been our number one seller for about 9 years now. Still, it's just incredible. So, you know what, we get to be collaborative that way. And that's something that I want to get into eventually, is being able to really concoct my own totally, but that's down the road.
It's layers.
Yes.
Well, and with that, I want to take that opportunity to tell people that you currently have, where my notes are apparently all over the place today. So hold on, I have to find it. But you currently have your fall winter tea sampler that you're selling, and it's this really great box set that how many samples do you have in that?
In this particular one, and this is actually something that came from COVID that was a positive, because we did this in the spring in order to say, oh my gosh, people can't get into our store to experience and smell the teas and to taste them. What are we going to do? Well, we came up with, let's do a tea sampler. So we put that together, and it sold extremely well, way past. We're like, well, maybe we'll sell like, I don't know, 30 or 40. We sold 120.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I know. We're like, oh, okay, this is something that we should pay attention to. So this season we came up with our fall and winter sampler, and there are 16 teas in this. We have 20 new teas for the season. Certain things are seasonal, other things stay constant, but we have 16 different teas in there. It's about an ounce, a little bit more than that in each container. And so when they order it, you're getting like a pound of tea to try and enjoy. And it's a really fun way for people to do it. And they're doing it together online and having like these virtual tea parties or virtual tea every week with their friends. It's so cool. I'm getting these emails from people saying, this is the neatest thing ever.
That sounds so fun. And I mean, what a great concept to put in people's minds as we are going into the winter with more, a mindset of more things to do, and, still have your social element. A fun virtual tea party what a great fun idea.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm glad to hear that has, been one positive element from COVID, and you clearly looked at everything and made some pivots.
We did.
Yeah.
Big word.
I'm sorry, what?
The big word.
The big word. I know that is the word that everybody can't get away from. And I feel like when people hear it now, they're like, that word.
That word. Yeah. But it's true.
Yes. Oh, wait, before I forget, we do have to back up, because you had mentioned already the story of how you came up with your name. And I was going to throw this out there as a fun trivia question also to the audience. But I was reading how you got your name, and it's so fun. So go ahead and share that story. I always love hearing how stores got their names, because I think that's to me, that's a challenging aspect of opening a new business. But yes, you have a really fantastic story of how you came up with your name.
Thanks. It's a really fun story, and we don't really know how true it is, but you know what? We go with it anyway. So I know. But some of it is definitely factual. So we live in a town called Lebanon, Illinois, and we're on the other side of the river from St. Louis. So we're about 20 minutes away from St. Louis. And so in 1842, Charles Dickens, the literary icon, stayed in our village. And he stayed at the Mermaid Inn right down the street from where our first store was. And it was rumored that he got his inspiration from his stay in Lebanon, and that when he got back to England, he wrote the Christmas Carol. And so we don't know if that's true or not, but you know what? We went with it because it is somewhat factual. We know he was here. He wrote a book called The American Notes, which was a total bomb. And he came to as far west as St. Louis. He really didn't care for St. Louis very much. He thought it was very dirty and gross, but he came here and he stayed. So it was really quite interesting. So Fezziwig is in the Christmas Carol, this fun, jovial, mercantile guy, and he was Ebenezer Scrooge's first boss. And so he said, that is such a fun tie-in to the town. And Tim and I still live in Lebanon, but our store is now in a different spot, not too far away, but we needed to grow and expand, so that's why we moved. But that's why we named it Fezziwigs. And people walk in the store like, I know that. It's like this little eerie thing. I know this name. How do I know this? Are you a chain? No, it's just us. And
I mean, so, I'll admit that as I said, I have known of your store for a long time.
Yeah.
But I was always curious, of the name. And it does sound like it rings true. Like, yeah, we know this name. But because who doesn't know that story at Christmas?
Right.
And so yeah. And what a fun, it also ties in because you opened right before the holiday season. Yeah. There's so many elements to it. It's so, I read that and I was like, oh, okay.
Of course.
That's so fun. And I love that you have the story up on your website and everything so that people can really learn and feel like they are really getting a piece of your shop without even necessarily walking their foot in the door, And in these crazy virtual times, that's more important than ever. So one element, a big part of our show is that we like to talk to retailers and entrepreneurs in general and, people that are maybe considering opening businesses or retail and all of those things. And there's no denying that in these times, whether you open a brick and mortar or not, a website is imperative. And a big thing that is talked about is having your website feel like a part of the store. And you did a great job really embracing the elements, the heart of your store in your website. So
I appreciate that. And actually, to your point, we are still we're updating it even more. So especially with this coming holiday season, we had to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? Because as I mentioned earlier, over 50% of our business is during the holiday season. And there are still, for those of you watching later, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. So we don't know what to expect, 14 years of, okay, I need this many people for the holidays. We do this, we do that, da-da-da-da-da. It's like clockwork.
Yeah.
This year is completely different. So we're figuring out all kinds of different ways. But one of them is our website has to, again, shift in order to accommodate what we think is going to be the right thing. Really, Camille, what it boils down to is what we're trying to do is create those exceptional memories and experiences online, just as if you were walking in the store.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and so that people can still bring all of those elements home for them to then create their own exceptional experience.
Or we'll ship it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never know, you could end up, reaching people from far away that, couldn't make it to your store and all of those things.
We shipped to France this year.
That's so cool. That's awesome. Very cool.
And Germany, actually.
And Germany.
Yeah. It took about 9 weeks to get there, but it got there.
Well, everything is taking a long time to ship right now. So, it's all been constant learning curves. And you have, I had mentioned this to you before when we were prepping for our call, but you do a lot of classes, which you have now also incorporated to also be virtual classes. And everybody should go to your website, because this is what I did. You should go to your website. Fezziwigs, can you remind us?
Mm-hmm. It's fezziwigsmarket.com.
Fezziwigsmarket.com, because I was going to say the wrong thing. So fezziwigsmarket.com, and go check out their classes. It will literally make you drool. I was sitting at my computer being like, yes, please. And then I know I've seen some pictures of dishes you've created, which also would make anyone drool. But you have a class tomorrow coming up that's homemade pasta from scratch.
Yep.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm Italian, so of course that gets me extra, but we've tried to make a few pastas from scratch at our house. My husband, who's German and not Italian, I give him a lot of credit. He's given some effort. And then one that he would love is on Sunday, you have bourbon smoked chili with bacon cornbread.
Yeah, it's going to be so delicious.
Oh,
So,
uh,
yeah.
so
So
sorry, go ahead.
we in our area, they weren't allowed, the restaurants weren't allowed to be open. People had to dine outside. And our kitchen is big, but it's not big enough where people would still they'd have to wear masks, and it's not conducive to that. So we essentially built we call it our courtyard classroom, because we've got a garden courtyard right outside the back of our building. And it houses all of our classes right now, and we're going to ride that train basically till it's too cold to do it. So about middle of November, but we're doing lots of the hybrid type of things. So including a lot of private classes. So our local university actually hired us. We're doing their alumni dinner on Saturday. So we shipped all the ingredients to their alumni all over the country, and they're hopping on Zoom on Saturday afternoon, and there's 40 or 50 different people going to be on that. And so I teach them how to do this. We're doing a pasta dish. We're doing a pasta dish, go out a bottle of wine, I hop off there, and then they enjoy the rest of their camaraderie together. So we're doing not only things for our classes, but trying to reach out and do things privately as well.
Wow. I mean, so you are just, I'm like conscious about not using that P word, but, you're just, constantly changing it up and looking for the opportunities, as well as, internally and externally. And it sounds like throughout the end of all of this, because one day, guys, we will get through the COVID situation. I promise you,
we will.
It's going to come.
It'll be here.
Yes, it will be here. So you're really setting yourself up, though, that when that day breaks, you're going to have a whole slew of new doors that you've opened up that you didn't have before, this whole pandemic started, is what it sounds like.
You're right, Camille. But I have to just kind of point this out to all of us retailers that have a bricks and mortar place, because things are different. And I see it, probably, this is my intuition anyway, I think it's going to be a hybrid of everything going on. I don't think people are going to stop shopping. Of course not. But their experiences are very different now. I mean, even when we started our store, there wasn't the internet the way it is now. There was not Amazon. There was not any of that. So, how do you get them through your door? Well, it might be a different kind of door. I don't know that we could do this without our physical store, because people are coming in and seeing and experiencing that. I don't know that I would start one I'll just do everything online. For us, it's a hybrid anyway.
Well, and it sounds like you, well, number one, you have a passion for this, and it sounds like your brick and mortar helps you curate, a lot of your inspiration and designs and all of those things, which is very hard to do without a space to do that.
Yes.
So now I have to talk about your social media.
Okay.
Because you just kill it on social media. You're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, at least those are the two that I follow you on. And we have spent a lot of time over the last several months now talking about Facebook Live. and some people I know just like cringe when they when I bring up Facebook Live, but it's so engaging. And did you start doing Facebook Lives or videos at all before COVID?
It was on the list. It was on this would be a really good thing to do.
Okay.
Well, thanks, COVID. You kicked that
right. Let me push you through there. Yes. Okay, so you were thinking about it. So your mind was already kind of prepping for it. And we did mention, I do have to throw this out there, that you have a entertainment background. So you are, already comfortable with the performance element of it, because there's no denying that doing videos and everything, there is a performance and entertainment element of this. Although I also believe that being an owner of a retail store, you are also pretty much always entertaining anyone that walks through your door. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience starting the Facebook Lives and how that has evolved over time?
Sure. We have more Facebook Live things to do. That's actually one of the big campaign things. We have a campaign for the holiday season. We're calling it Fezziwigs Marketplace, your home for the holidays. Yeah, get it, your home, like both ways.
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing a lot more with Facebook Live. I've been doing more of the videos, and I'm going to point this out. Yes, I have a performance background. I can sing in front of almost everybody, but to actually do public speaking, that was another story. So I promise you, for anybody watching that is like, oh, that's easy for her. Let me tell you, there were a lot of takeouts, or outtakes, or whatever you want to say.
Thank you for saying that, though.
Absolutely.
Because I have so many times been like, yes, I have an entertainment background, but I was utterly terrified my first Facebook Live. And, it is different. Also, a lot of us entertainers, we don't actually ever see the audience that we're singing to, because there's so many lights that it's just blacked out. You can't usually see the crowd, and it is much different. So thank you for saying that yes, it is not, don't just assume that some people are just smooth sailing with this. So you still had nerves starting it out, and you had a lot of outtakes and all of that. How did you just made it a point in your head that you were going to keep pushing through? And
yeah, so basically, to your point about us being entertainers, you know what I mean, please, everybody, we practice those all the time. Practice. So by the time we actually put it out there for the world to see, we're ready for that. And so all of these quick little videos and the Facebook Lives, I mean, here's the thing, you do have to roll with it, and you have to, and this is it. This is what I would tell anybody. Please just be you. Just be you. Don't try to make it perfect. If you say a different word or you mess up, so what? That's just who you are. We posted something. This is hilarious, and actually, this is a great tip. It was a picture of me when I was trying to get my head back into this video, because I was messing up so much that one of my teammates who was taking the video just happened to shoot the picture. And I'm looking like this, and I know. And she shoots the picture, and it was hilarious, because you know what we did? We posted that picture, and I said, "What do you think I'm thinking about? What's the caption?"
I think I saw that picture.
It was hilarious. Yeah. The things that came up, and do you know what, Camille? That was one of the most number one things of every that was commented on, which of course then brings it to the top of everybody's feed. And it was actually not exactly intentional, but it was one of those. I'm going to throw this out there, because guess what? I'm human. I'm not perfect by any stretch, and I wanted just to show that silly, goofy side of, okay, what the heck am I thinking? And it was hilarious. So be you is what I would just tell everyone, and roll with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. No one's perfect.
Yes, I feel that, and I said this several times, but one of my personal favorite things about our whole lockdown and everything these last several months is that I feel that the humanization and people just being real has been accepted more than ever before, especially on social media, which had a history of not being realistic for a really long time. So guess what, everybody? Now it's okay to be your wild, crazy, or uncomfortable self, and just roll with it and laugh it off, like you would do with your friends or your family, at home and all of that. It would be very well received. So you kept pushing through, and you embraced the awkward moments and all of those things. do you have special equipment that you're using? Did you go out and like buy the next fancy camera and the lights and microphones, all of those things?
No, I bought a tripod that I'm using right now. And I do have a microphone because it was one of the tips that one of my customers who watched all the time as well, and he does a lot of social media, and he said, Ellen, your videos are great, but you need the microphone because the wind. I was doing so much outside at that time that the wind was catching and the sound quality wasn't as good. So I think it was, I don't know, like $30 or $40, and it's got the big windscreen, and it pops right into my phone. So I would say if you're going to do a video, just use your iPhone, use that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They're high quality these days, and they're very easy then to integrate into your Facebook and your Instagram. We don't do Twitter at this point. That's just not the venue that we need, frankly. But YouTube, I upload almost everything that we have on YouTube, so people can find us, and it's easier than to do some of the videos. Some people's phones won't take videos, but it will on YouTube. So that's another tip that if you're having trouble sending a video to someone or they can't see it, you can actually upload it onto YouTube, and they can get it that way too.
Yeah, that's a great comment. And I've seen those little microphones. My brother and I have actually talked to them about them before. I don't have one, but they are very cool, and they just put right into your phone. So it's not, a bulky additional item. But I like to make that clear to everyone that is, still considering jumping on board the video train, and I feel that step one is getting past the nerves, but a lot of people do have a misconception that you need every tool in the book and all this new technology, and you don't. You can use what you have. You can use your phone. You can use your iPad. A tripod is a really good idea.
Lighting matters, and you know what? I mean, I hate to say it this way, but put a little powder on, put a little lipstick on, do your eyelashes, because it makes a big difference in the way that you're going to look on camera. But
and your own confidence.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely, of course.
But also, how great that it was one of your customers that had been listening and brought you some advice, and that you then followed up and listened to. I mean, we always say, listen to your customers. They have great things, and you probably made him feel pretty good that you listened and followed, and took his advice.
Well, I respected his opinion because he does this for a living. So I said, oh, his name is Reggie. And he said, Reggie, absolutely. Thank you so much. And it took a while. It took like 2 months for it to come in at that time. So I think now it's better. But really the reason we hadn't done videos before is because my nephew is a lifestyle specialist in LA. He's worked with Martha Stewart and all those. He's a big deal. Anyway, he said, Aunt Ellen, you're going to have this equipment, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my gosh, first of all, it's going to be really expensive, and I don't know how to do all that. I'm not really that techie. That's not my thing. My husband is great at it. I'm not. So by the way, if I can do it, if I can do this Facebook stuff and the Instagram, I'm being serious. It really is not hard. So take that pressure off of yourself, and then know that you're going to be all right. You can do it. You can do it.
And you get better every time, and you get more comfortable every time.
Yes.
And, just keep on pushing through it. I like to say, just show up, keep on showing up for your customers. And, that's what they need to feel embraced and loved and like you care. So you mentioned, this season, the holidays are going to be different than ever. You've had 13 years of holiday seasons, and probably traditions and all, those things. Are you I know you're changing things up for this holiday season. One of the big questions we've had from a lot of retailers is if retailers are moving up their holiday season this year, and doing, holiday events earlier than ever. What is your thoughts on things like that?
Absolutely. And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. First of all, we have the outdoor courtyard that we're able to use. So typically we have these really big festivals that are happening, and of course, Small Business Saturday, it's huge for us. It's our biggest day ever. Well, because of the pandemic, we can comfortably fit, with social distancing, about 25 people total into our store at a time. But normally during that time, we've got 60 or 70 in there at a time. Well, this is going to be different. So I actually know as a country, retailers looking at a Small Business Week instead of a Small Business Saturday, so that you can get into your favorite stores, and please do support them, because that's really important. But that part is very different. I do lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of holiday decorating classes. And so this year I'm doing 3, and each one is different, but it will be outside, and I can house 26 people exactly out there, where I have 13 on each side of me, and I'm in the middle, and everybody's distance from each other. So those will go, there's 2 in October and 1 early November. And then we're going to start doing the Facebook Live, kind of circling back to where you asked about before, so that we can do that, or just, some videos to say, okay, so I showed this to people. We may stream it also, because I'm reaching 26 people, but I could frankly reach, hundreds more, and, give them the same benefit. They obviously can't buy that day because they're not there. So the people who are coming to the class will actually get that benefit. But we can still inspire them and help with getting them what they need.
Right.
So there's that aspect. And then we're doing lots online. Again, I mentioned we're updating our website. And the past 2 years, we've curated some really great little gift items that come together, such as we carry these amazing soups and a bread mix that is all Fezziwigs product. It's all private label, and it's called the Comfort Food Package. So yeah, we're at home, and or in small places, right? We're not traveling like we used to.
Yeah.
We're still going to be at home, which is, frankly, this is what you and I do, Camille. We actually help to create the oasis of being at home and the happiness of being at home. It's better than being stuck in a hotel room for how many months, I'd rather be at home. If I have to be stuck somewhere, I want to be in this beautiful thing that I've created that's my world, So what we're trying to do is bring that to people to say, you know what, it's okay. What are you going to do? It's actually how you're going to experience your plight. You experience it this way, or you could choose to, I hate it, Well, no one loves it, but guess what? We're in it.
That's right.
So
yeah, so
choose to be happy.
That's right. Choose to be happy, and make your sight, sound, and smell in your own environment be what you want it to be. And just a side note to throw this out there, that I recommend to look into the option of being able to stream, and people can sign up. You could set it up so that people could sign up to stream in live, and with them having to have a private link to that.
That's a great tip, because I'm actually in the middle of exploring that now.
That people could pay for that full experience virtually, and you are also, what's the word that I'm looking for? You are, there's a value to what you do, to the time that you're putting into the class, all of those things. So people will also then be given the opportunity to take advantage of that value that you have to offer virtually.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So starting mid-November, I think we'll be able to do some things inside and online, even more. But we've got some great classes coming up.
Yeah, I might be, we're not sure yet, but I might be hosting my very first ever Thanksgiving in my house. So
we actually have a whole Thanksgiving sides class.
Oh my goodness. So I will not be cooking the whole meal. I'm letting everyone know I will not be cooking the whole meal. I can cook some of it.
My first 2 turkeys, I actually roasted them upside down, so don't worry.
Oh man, yes, I've never done a turkey before. I'm one of those people, I'm really good at baking because can follow very clear instructions. You know? So I, at this point, would really love to ask you, do you have a number one tip for retailers or people that are, have it in them, the thought that they have the entrepreneur bug, but aren't quite making the decision? Do you have any tips of getting into doing this, or for new retailers, or I guess for anyone, because everyone is looking to brainstorm right now, right?
Sure. You know what I do, and this has been something that my mother taught me, and she's adorable. She's absolutely fantastic. But you know what? Try not to be everything to everybody, because it never will work. And customers will give you lots of great feedback, lots. And some of it's valuable and some of it isn't. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say, let the things that really, that hit home for you stick, and let the other ones just float on by. Because, for instance, Fezziwigs is not a children's store. Okay? We are a store for adults. So that's how I like to say it. Instead of an adult store, we are a store for adults. And we love children. It's not it's just a matter of, we have to decide who we are and what we want to be. And then when people say, oh, you know what you should do? You should have cooking classes for 3-year-olds. No.
I have a 3-year-old and I wouldn't do that.
Right. You can do that if you want to. But yeah, I mean, first of all, there's a lot of liability. Secondly, that is not what we want to do. So it's okay to say no. Yes, frankly, is my very favorite word on the planet. I love that word. I like to get to yes if we can. But the word no is also all right. And it's also okay to say, you know what, thanks for your feedback. I appreciate it. I hear you. They just want to be heard. But they also, unless they're writing the check, my friends, they don't get a say in how you run your business. So the other part I would say is listen to, go deep, go inside and listen. Is this really what you want? And then don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If it really feels right to you, if it feels true, then that's right. That's where you need to go. Yeah. Something's telling you that that's where you need to go. So if you feel that passion, do it.
Yeah. Those are 2 great tips. And it goes along with, you said create your umbrella, and that you've tried a few things that are outside of that umbrella and they didn't work, and so creating that vision of your store and your umbrella and keeping in that realm, those are your strong suits, so it makes sense. Yeah. You can't please everyone. You just can't.
You can't. And you know what? We've had our share of the things that didn't work, and every single time it didn't work, it was because it was too far out of the umbrella.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So obviously we are a multi-line rep group. I have a fantastic team. I was introduced to you from our great Southern Illinois rep, Melissa Russell. We love you, Melissa. We do. We're so happy she joined our team. I adore her, and she's so great. So I always feel like I have to do a little bit of my due diligence for my team and my fellow reps out there. We genuinely would love to know if you have any number one tips for reps, or in these crazy times, what is your preferred method right now for a rep to work with you? Are you interested in working with reps in person, or at your store, or Zoom, or phone, or are you just kind of like, now is not the time? What's kind of your thoughts about it all?
Sure. Well, and you know what, my answer before COVID would have been different than it is now. So yeah, I know. We go to market religiously, twice a year, July and January, and down in Atlanta. And you know what? This year we went in January, and for whatever crazy reason, and I think I know which reasons they are, but we found an awful lot for holiday in January, and I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. Well, now I know why. Thank God. Thank God. So we like to go and we like to feel and touch and see and smell and all of that, because I work very differently than a lot of other people. I don't buy a lot at market. I actually bring everything home with me and make all those decisions. And frankly, it's better for the companies because I'm not having to cancel stuff.
Yeah.
And my order is stick. It's true. But also, if certain places are offering certain incentives, I'm probably going to give that more weight. And I'm picky. I'm really, really, really picky because I don't want to have the stuff that everybody else has. And that's part of our plan. But how I'm working with them now, like Melissa, is awesome. I'm going to make a big shout out to you, Will. Her follow up is really wonderful, and she's not pushy. She's like, hey, what do you need? What can I do? So she sent me some samples of some things, and I said, yeah, I like this line, and I want to bring this in. And she'll follow up with an email about every 2 or 3 weeks. How's everything going? Hey, have you seen this line? What would you like? Certain things I need to see and touch and smell. Other things I know the quality of that particular company. I probably am going to be okay with that. But that, of course, isn't normal. Yeah. I one of those people, though. I know what I like and I know what I don't like, and it's a quick decision. It's not a matter of I don't know. So I don't necessarily need necessarily need them to come in and scan the pages. Yeah. I can here's what I need, and they get what they want. So
yeah, makes sense.
But I know other people need to work differently. They need the more guidance, especially if they're newer, yeah, or if they've moved to a different spot. Yeah, that type of thing. They need your expertise and guidance.
Yeah, everybody is different, and every and a lot of people are nervous because of what's going on, that they need more guidance, simply because of that, So
yeah.
All right. Well, I have loved our conversation. I so appreciate all of the tips and tricks and tidbits about your store that you shared with us. I will never forget the story of how you named your store. I really love that story. So now I get to ask you our final 3 questions, which we've been asking all of our guests. So our first question, actually, wait, before I do that, I should pause and say, can you go ahead and give everybody the information of how they can find Fezziwigs and reach out to you?
Okay. You mean our website or phone number?
Yes, your website, and yeah, I'll follow up with, I'll start it off. I know you can find them on Facebook at Fezziwigs Marketplace, and you're also on Instagram under Fezziwigs Marketplace, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we did mention your website, Fezziwigs Market.
Yeah.
.com. Yep. And on there is all of your your reach out contact information, right?
Yeah. So the best place you can go is fezziwigsmarket.com. And then you'll see you can reach me through info at fezziwigsmarket.com. And our phone number is on there. If you'd like to call us, you can call us too. Or really just follow us on Facebook and Instagram, because we post things almost daily. We're in the middle of redoing some things, and this year we're actually going to highlight a new teammate each week of how long they've been with Fezziwigs. We again have been in business it'll be 14 years, and one of our teammates, who's a kindergarten teacher, has been with us for 13 years. Oh my goodness. So yeah, and so we're just going to highlight kind of our family, so that everybody sees who's taking care of you. I know, and so we are probably going to be doing some FaceTime appointments as well. So if you can't get to us, but say, oh my gosh, I really want to experience Fezziwigs, you know what? I'm telling my girls, hop on and do FaceTime. Walk them through the store. Let's see what they want to do. Let's help them in any way we possibly can.
Yeah. And one of the ways, I'm just going to throw this out there because I just thought of it on the top of my head. One of the ways, even if you're not comfortable with in-person shopping and all of those things, I know you guys are making like floral arrangements, and you can have somebody just drop off a vase, and they could drop it off, and you could make it all pretty, and then they could just pick it up, and so you don't even need to have full in-store contact. So
you know what? Thanks for saying that, because I'm going to tell you something. I've got the most fantastic florist that's down the street from us who is absolutely phenomenal. I am not a florist. That I would never ever tell you that, oh yeah, I'm a great floral designer. I do what I think looks great, and for whatever reason other people think it looks pretty too. Wonderful. So what I'm saying to you, friends, is, you know what? In certain areas, yeah, like I said, I have to be an expert with tea. I am a cook. I'm like Ina Garten and Rachel Ray are also not chefs, by the way. I am not a culinary trained chef. I am a home entertainer who has honed those skills, and I'm bringing that to other people. So do you have to be an expert in your field? Depends on what you're doing, but probably not. I would just say be accurate on what you're going to do. And therefore, that it's going to, so make sure your information's accurate. So you're not giving them misinformation, obviously. But if it's, again, a passion of yours, that's what's going to come through to your people, and that's what's going to feel organic to them. This is part of why Fezziwigs is where we are, just because this is completely who we are. And we put that out there, and people feel it as soon as you walk in the door, or hopefully when you hop on our website too.
Well, and I know you had mentioned in our earlier conversation that you have never worked so hard before in your life, and all of the roles that you've had, and working with these other retailers and all of those things, but you still wake up every day and you love it. You said to me, you leaned into the screen, you said, I love it, and that is, it's awesome.
Yeah, I really do. Are there hard times? Of course there are. Are there days you're like, ugh, but I've not at this point, not yet said, yeah, I think I'm done. I'm like, I'm not done. And I think that's part of where the success has come through COVID is we've worked way too hard to let it die. And I'm going to thank my mother for this part too. We did a lot of imaginative play when we were little, and I called her, and her name is Doreen. Hi, Mom. I said, I just want to say thank you. She's in Ohio. I just want to say thank you for all the imaginative play we did when we were children, because guess what? Right now it's coming in really handy. Okay, does it work that way? It can work that way. Oh, it came from building Barbie houses.
There you go. There you go.
And we had to tear them down every single night, and we were so ticked, like, Mom, it was the best one. And she's like, you'll just have to rebuild one
more. Put
more.
it away. It's time to put it away. Good. That makes me feel better as a mom, because I do make them put away all every night.
See, you know what? You're actually building really good skills. So just you're good.
All right, I'll remind him of that in a few years.
That's right. Write it down.
Okay, so our final 3 questions. What is your favorite book, podcast, or blog?
Okay. This is a great question. And I was like, oh, interesting. So my favorite blog, it's podcast. Yeah. And it's called What Moves You with Jessie. And I know. And it is a fantastic podcast from this amazing woman who basically teaches me and many, many others in the whole world how to get past your own stuff. I'll put it that way. How to
get out of
her main analogy is this. No, this is perfect. You are the sun and thoughts are the clouds. And you know what? Those thoughts are just going to move past that sun. So don't get all caught up in your head of all the craziness that's going on. The world is crazy on fire, but you know what? We get to choose how we experience that. And it's been really a total godsend to me, because I listen to it every single morning, and it helps me and I meditate as well, but it helps me set that intention, and I'm more compassionate. I'm more calm in this eye of the storm. And I think that's where some of this clarity of what we're doing with our business has come from, because my voice isn't like rattling like crazy. I mean, there are times, of course, but I mean, it's been helpful to me.
Wow, that's a good one. I haven't heard of that one yet. I'll have to look into it.
I'll
shoot it my way. What is the most important tool in your toolbox?
I had to think about that one for a little bit, and I'm going to actually say it's my intuition.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, you know what? It's there, and you know if your stomach flip-flops a bit, it's probably not right. But if you say, no, this is what we should be doing, and that's actually what happened with this whole, what are we going to do with COVID? It's like, okay, I'd love to tell you that we sat down at the kitchen table and said, oh, this is what we're going to do. It all came from different times, different places, but other people, well, now you should do this, and now you should do this. And some things we listen to, charcuterie platters, doing more videos online, doing recipes online. Okay, doing classes online, doing wine tastings. We figured out how to do wine tastings online. So I know that's crazy, but you know what? We figured that out.
Yeah.
That fits in our business plan. That fit. Other things, no, it didn't fit.
Yeah, no, that's a
people
great
on
one.
a garden. I'm like, no, I can't do that.
That's a great one. That and it's true. You have to follow your intuition, follow your gut. It will guide you more than we give it credit for sometimes.
It really is. And so when I was digging for that answer, I'm like, why am I digging? This is it.
There you go.
Yeah.
What is something positive that has come out of the COVID-19 situation? I get the vibe that you're a pretty positive person. I think you also make a point and work to be positive. And we, myself and I think really our whole team also believe in being as positive as possible. So in all of the, storms and everything like that, there's got to be positive to look out for. I know you've had, it sounds like, a number of them, but what do you feel is the biggest positive that's come out of this?
You are so right, Camille. There are lots and lots of things, but I think connection has come out of this. If I had to pick one word, because we're learning that we were crazy. Our worlds are crazy, and we'll just get together sometime.
Right.
And now we can't, and it's like, wait, what? So that was taken away from us. So it's that old adage: you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
Well, so I think that connectivity of people and just really appreciating and being in the moment and saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend time with you on FaceTime. I'm going to spend time with you this way. Families, I think, are more connected.
Yes.
So that's where I would say, and positivity is a choice for the most part. It is. We get to choose that. We have free will as humans, but so trying to have that, and compassion. I think some compassion has come out of this whole thing too. Yeah. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
And we will get through it on the other side, and then we get to hug each other again.
Oh my God. I'm a hugger. I am one of those people that I'm always like, well, in normal times, I'll meet people for the first time and they'll be like, handshake. I'm like, can I hug you? I'm a hugger. So yes, I look forward to that for sure. But yes, we will get through it. Thank you so much for everything today. I really loved our time together. I'm sure other people did as well. Guys, if you have never heard of Fezziwigs before, you can also easily Google. It will come up I think it's like the first thing that comes up when you Google it. So if you can't remember all of the ways that we gave you before to find Fezziwigs, go ahead and jump on Google, type in Fezziwigs Marketplace. It'll come up easily. Start following them on Facebook and Instagram, and you should dig for the video of Ellen singing because it's awesome. And you had my heart before, but especially when I saw that, I was like, yes! So
thank you. That was that was an intuition thing, by the way, that said, you need to do this. And I said, why?
I loved it.
But because you do.
I loved it.
So
you just, gave up who you are. You were true to yourself. So, like we've been saying, just be real. So thank you so much. I'm sure we'll keep in contact and talk soon.
Awesome. I'll send you that podcast. Yeah. Thank you so much, Camille. Good luck to all of you. Have a fantastic holiday season.
Thank you. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. There's so much to, pull out of, so many little tidbits to pull out of that whole conversation. Maybe we'll go back through and pull little things out to tell you guys. And yeah, tune in next week. We have Happy Pack, who is a retailer out of Indianapolis, Indiana, I believe. And great new concept that they're doing. So tune in next week. We're here every Tuesday. If you ever have a specific topic that you want us to talk about, just let us know. We're happy to dive in. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.